Hi, I'm Don Cottam with 323 Link, and today I would like to tell you what OneTouch is really all about and what we're doing here at 323 Link. So we were very fortunate to get involved with Zoom early on in their process, which I think we were signed up as a reseller. We were the second reseller in 2013, and at that time they had just hired their VP of Sales, which was Greg Holmes. And that was just a wonderful experience working with that team. That is a great group of people. And that was a great experience. But I had prior to that been thinking about all the deficiencies of the audiovisual industry. And I came from manufacturing, I ran a plant. And, you know, when you come from that environment, it's all about systems. And when I came into the audiovisual industry, with a company called Interactive Solutions out of Memphis. I was hired by Jay Myers, and that was also a great experience. And Jay actually trained me how to sell, so that was also a great experience. But I got to learn over the course of that 10-year period all the ins and outs of the AV industry. And so I would say I'm a salesman, but I'm also, I guess, partially engineer. So with all that being said, one thing that I found in the AV industry is that the rooms are created per job. And so we wound up doing a lot of custom rooms. And you typically use an external control system. When I started, there were multiple control platforms, and now it's a little bit of a monopoly unless you're in a residential scenario. And I will say this, the company that has the market share in that is also another wonderful company. And that also was incredible experiences, everything I've ever done with that group and the events they held and other things and their training. It's been, that's a great company too. But what I do see, I see the huge flaw in the industry is we have a bunch of freelancers who are programming to run like enterprise rooms. And it's just a little bit too loose. You can't prove consistency, and you have a lot of people, you know, programming, and there's a lot of these systems, people have to reboot them like every other day to make them work. And so there are just so many things wrong there. I'm not even going to start to begin, but it seems like everybody got kind of stuck about 15 years ago, and all we're trying to figure out is like how to make a bigger TV. I don't believe that that is the future of the AV industry. And I should not discard the boutique high-end AV companies. Those guys that's a whole nother class. The thing is, you don't need an orchestra-level audio system for a courtroom. And so just all these different variables I saw that were these things I saw wrong in the industry. And again, when I saw that Zoom room, it triggered my mind because I knew that a PC running a great middleware, in the case of Zoom, that would be Zoom Room, that allows you to do several things in that space that a control system and an AV system would allow you to do. That is a wonderful idea, and that is a great product. And then, of course, Microsoft did the same thing. They had to compete with the Zoom Room. And in the midst of all that, somehow, the AV guys, like me, we kind of lost control of our accounts. And that was a very weird time. What I will say, though, is with the advancement of systems like this middleware OneTouch, which basically is a software, but it can work with every collaboration platform, every phone system. It can be just a PA system. It can be just a PA system and a presentation system. And it can be a full collaborative space or a streaming studio, which is what I have here. I'm running OneTouch on this computer, and I do all the time. It just makes my computer become a utility device when I need it to become one. In the conference room and in the classroom, this is the anchor system. And here's the real advantages. Number one, scalability. I use the same hardware, the same components, and the same middleware in every room we put in. We have had some supply issues, so we've had some small variations, but that's our vision, is to have the same microphones, the same speakers, the same everything. And we can fill the gap of about 80% of what's out there needed for training rooms, classrooms, and whatever. We can do it better. We can have a much higher success rate. Where I started to see these things happen, you go into a courtroom or a classroom, it's got to work every day. And I found that most AV systems installed do not work every day. What OneTouch will do and what this middleware concept will do, will fix that. I mean, we still have to deal with issues with PCs, but guess what? Our enterprise IT team already does that. So we don't have to go hire an outside specialist. I can connect any peripheral devices I want to this room. When somebody comes out with great turnkey hardware solutions, guess what? I can use those too. When new software comes out for video, when somebody overtakes Zoom in the future, which that has always happened in history. If you go look back at all the companies that have taken over a space and then been defeated by the next oncomer, that's going to happen again. I don't think it's stoppable, honestly. But I will say this. I think the AV industry is about to change. I think using a computer is the core with the same software in every one of your environments, where I can take any new tech coming in. And right now, if you look over my shoulder, that could be AR, tying in VR people. We can already do that. We're just experimenting with it now. But because of the way our architecture is, we write really cool automation tools that make the software you normally use do something different, something special. And our whole thing is to create the best experience, the easiest, most consistent and reliable experience in every conference room, in every classroom, everywhere we can. So what I'm saying is, I think this concept, and the concept that actually Zoom Rooms started, could wind up becoming what the audiovisual industry becomes, because the future is really to focus on what is coming down the pike for new display tech. I mean, I'm not going to get into that. That's a whole nother set of things. But what I'm saying is, if you have a computer at the core of your conference room with a great middleware, no matter what happens, you made the right choice. Because this same kit can turn right back into a Zoom room. It can become a Teams room. Or guess what? It can become the most powerful presentation collaborative room you've ever put together, because you can use a software like OneTouch. And we won't be the first to this marketplace. We will be the best, though. So if you have some interest, please let us know. We're signing up resellers now. We're very excited. And we've not had this push yet until we had the software to this point. But now it's time to make a change. And I think we're going to make a huge change in the audiovisual space. And only time will tell. But I may be wrong, but I'm not normally. I have a very strong suspicion that this will be wildly successful. Thanks a lot for checking it out. I'm Don Cottam with 323 Link, and we look forward to hopefully seeing you in the future. Thanks.